It is Tuesday, August 19th. It's time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That was SP3. This is SP3. What was it yelling in the background?
I don't even know.
Oh,
That's the
alright.
Bronx. Whenever I'm in the Bronx, you'll just hear random stuff in the
It's random
background.
stuff. Fair enough. Oh, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. I'm glad to be here on another Tuesday with all you fine people and Xeno Hour. So appreciate y'all for joining us today. And of course, we got some Monday Night Raw to discuss because we can finally discuss it, me and Jeremy, this week because he decided to make it an Extreme Rules matchup. So if there was any ideas of disqualification, he eliminated that immediately. So
I
he's
gotta
he
respect.
watches in the weeds, guys. Be careful what you say in the live chat. Triple H might see it.
I gotta respect that Triple H was like, yeah, we've been doing DQs every single week. You know what we're gonna do? An Extreme Rules match. So it's no DQ. That's I gotta respect it. Honestly, I really do.
It's quite impressive. Quite impressive by him. So yes, we can talk about that today. What else do we need to talk? We got to talk about the G1 because I did catch a little bit of yesterday's show and heard that y'all didn't talk anything about the G1 because if y'all did talk about the G1 without me, what's the reason for that? Like they literally booked it so I would stay on this show. They saw my threat, the threat that I put out in response to Jeremy joking around saying I might quit. I was like, no, I will quit if it is a certain result. So we'll talk about the real result and not the BS that Joel and Jeremy were mentioning on the side yesterday.
No, I said Evil didn't win. Joel tried to make it seem like Evil won, which I like that, his booking. But I said that Evil did not win. He should have won, but what can you do? What can you do? Gato's a coward. He didn't go with Evil.
He made the right choice, ladies and
Cowardly
gentlemen.
choice.
Made the right
He went with a
choice.
part timer.
He's not a part timer. That's some BS made up by Japanese fans. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We live in this weird world that they would rather Evil win, despite it guaranteeing it's a
Yes.
trash match that closes
What?
Tokyo Dome, but they don't care because at least he's our trash. That's all it is. They're like,
Yeah.
he's our trash, guys. We love our trash.
I mean, that's very true that they would rather Evil win because he's at least signed than having Takeshita win because he is a part timer. I mean, they shouldn't have been in that spot if we're being honest.
No!
It should have been
Yoda
Suji.
Suji!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have never been this frustrated with a company. Like, regardless of what WWE has done this year or what AEW has done in 2024, 2023, I was willing to look past the early part of 2024 where New Japan was criminally underprepared for the exit of Kazuchika Okada and the winding down of Tetsuya Naito, and they were still trying to push those guys over their young guys. But there was no excuse. I said before the G1, I will say after the G1. This was the G1 for New Japan to go 10 toes down and say, these are our guys for the future. And you know what those guys did during this G1? In my opinion, I think all of them delivered and had good performances. Even someone who's getting the most criticism, like Shota Umino, he found himself in this G1 climax. Roye Uyawa, who doesn't really still doesn't have like an identity that makes him stand out like that, he had a good performance. Yuya Uemura was my MVP for the entire tournament. And Yota Tsuji had all the makings. He's the total package when it comes to on the mic, as a character, the look. He's been able to be a draw when he's been in top positions. He's had the global heavyweight championship run. That was impressive. That was a good thing for his standing in the company. He was the guy for this year, and they had him lose to Evil in the semifinals, like every other dork from this young generation. And this is not even the first time. Not even the first time they did this to Yota Tsuji, because Yota Tsuji should have won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship when he first got here, when he first got back from excursion back in 2023. I was calling it the Tsuji shock. Should have been the Tsuji shock. He should have been champion right now. What the hell? Sonata. We needed 6 more months of Sonata.
Groundhog saw
boring bum. That was before he became a fashionista. He was a boring bum as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And they kept the title on him instead of giving it to Tsuji. Then Tsuji goes into G1. He's booked like every other bum from his generation. And he doesn't even make the playoffs. He loses to Will Ospreay for the U.S. Championship. He won the New Japan Cup and then loses the title match to One Knee Naito. One Knee Naito is who this company has picked over Yota Tsuji. He has an impressive run as IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion. Mind you, he should have won the G1 last year against Zack Sabre Jr. I love Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. deserved to win the G1 last year, and it was a magical moment when he did, but it is about damn time they put over one of these young guys, and Tsuji is the best one. So I'm just mentioning every single time they have passed over Yota Tsuji, and they did it yet again here. This was the most egregious and just tone-deaf booking I've ever seen from New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's absolutely amazing how bad Gato hates his young guys.
Have you ever thought that maybe Yota Tsuji is just a B+ player and he's just not going to get to the main event? It's a nice spot for him. Just a B+ player.
You just gonna play in my face like that? Just gonna play in my face like that? You know he's not a B+ player. I know he's not a B+ player. I don't know about these people out here, because these people, I've seen people online being like, oh, none of the new guys are ready. None of the new guys are this. None of the new guys are that. We have reached the point of it does not matter anymore. You know how a lot of young guys, prove their worth? They're given the opportunity, and then they have to sink or swim. That's usually how it works in all forms of wrestling. Randy Orton wasn't ready to become the youngest ever World Heavyweight Champion, but he was given that spot. That's why it only lasted a day, and Triple H was able to convince people, put the title back on me. But they gave him that spot because he had basically, he was everything that he could be. I mean, a month, a day like in 2004. Yeah, in 2004, a month is a day. It's the same thing at this point. So yeah, John Cena, even in 2005, he was still getting "You Can't Wrestle" chants, but he proved himself in that first title run, and he was the face of the company. It was a discussion. I don't know if y'all remember 2005. Who should be the face of the company moving forward? Was it Batista or was it John Cena? John Cena strived in his first title reign. Batista did well, but he got hurt at the end of his title reign, and that's why they went with Cena over Batista. They just need to choose one of these guys, and they just refuse to choose any of them. It is disgusting. How can you invest in New Japan Pro Wrestling's future if they won't?
Remember when they named Tsuji and Narita and Yumura as the new Three Musketeers, and they tried to tell you, these are our 3 guys. These are the guys that we're going with. Get ready. Invest in these guys because we're about to invest in them. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was before the G1 where none of them made the playoffs.
They've not done. Did I get the 3? Was it Tsuji or was it Shota? Was Shota in there?
It was Tsuji, Shota, and Narita.
Okay, I said Yumura. My fault. Yeah, it was. I thought Shota was in there. They tried with Shota. They gave him the Tokyo Dome main event. It didn't work.
But did they really try? Like, they gave him a backdoor Tokyo Dome main event. He didn't, like, I was one of the few people on like social media and YouTube that was saying Shota Umino should have won the G1 last year because I knew he was going to be in the Tokyo Dome main event. I knew like 6 months before it happened, he's going to be in the Tokyo Dome main event. So that's why I was like, just give Shoto the G1 win. That's the only way it makes sense for him to be in the Tokyo Dome main event. And this is why I firmly believe the reason why they had Tsuji lose in the semifinals is because it's going to be Tsuji versus Takeshita at Wrestle Kingdom, which once again is not the right way for one of these guys to main event a Tokyo Dome. Have them win the G1. He needed the G1. You can have Takeshita beat Zack in the tournament instead of in the semifinals. Make him win in the block, and then he earns a title match anyway, and he beats Zack for the title because that's all they're gonna do. All they're gonna do is have Takeshita beat Zack at like King of Pro Wrestling, so he's champion going into the Tokyo Dome, and he's either facing Shoto or he's facing Yota.
Oh, I hate that. I don't disagree with what you're saying. Like there's a scenario where that happens. I hate 2 straight years of the G1 winner not main eventing the Tokyo Dome. In Zack's case, it happened because he was the champion, but he didn't get the title shot there. He won the title previously. It would be the same thing with Takeshita if what you lay out comes to fruition. Like he'd still main event the Tokyo Dome, but it's because he won the title. Like you win the G1 to get that title shot at the Tokyo Dome. That's the whole point of the G1. Why are you getting your title shot earlier? I mean, it's kind of what Joel and I are talking about with AEW. Look, if you want to do the title, okay, you win the G1 to get your title shot at King of Pro Wrestling, fine, make that the new norm for things. But it's always been, you get your title shot at the Tokyo Dome. Keep your title shot at the Tokyo Dome. If you don't like the champion going into the Tokyo Dome, book the G1 to where the champion loses and then book the champion to lose before the Tokyo Dome. But whoever wins the G1 should get the guaranteed title shot at the Tokyo Dome. That's how it's always worked. I don't know why they're trying to mess with that.
The past 2 years, they've been trying to switch it up because they refuse to invest in any of their young guys. If they just have their young guy, if Yota wins this year, Shoto wins last year, we have no issues with the way we got to our Tokyo Dome main event. But because they kind of got cold feet around Shota, and he had already been booked to be a loser by then, and then you do the same thing with Tsuji this year, you're not going to have people feeling 100% confidence in these guys headlining. And then you got the people that are going to be questioning them, being like, is he really ready for this spot? Is any of these young guys ready for this spot? It does not matter anymore. We've reached a point of no return. Okada's not walking through that door anymore. He's in AEW. He's the unified champion, the longest reigning champion in company history as Continental champion. He's not coming back in. Naito, he was pretty much on his last legs anyway, and he left the company. He's an independent contractor right now. He's not coming back through that door. Kota Ibushi, he's happy in AEW. He ain't coming back through that door. Jay White, if he ain't in AEW, he's going to WWE. He ain't coming back through that door. Like, we gotta realize that last era is done, and Wrestle Kingdom is Tanahashi's last matchup. So why not give this younger generation a try? Why not give the people that have been on the come up, who have been really your workhorses the last couple of years, like your Finleys and your Tai Chi? Those are the guys that are like, you could say not in like the old, but in the middle guard. Tai Chi is more on like closer to like the older guard age, but Finley's like just in his early 30s. So these are the type of guys you should be like, you're next up. You're going to be IWGP heavyweight champion. But like Takeshita, I'm fine with it. Takeshita was much better an option than the alternative being Evil, because that would have been horrible. But we don't need to reward Evil anymore. We gave him the Tokyo. We gave him a Wrestle Kingdom big matches with Tanahashi this year. He got the big IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship matchup in the spring. He was in a dog collar matchup at Dominion. He's got 57 dudes coming out the clown car for House of Torture, and he was in the G1 fight. He won the block and made it to the G1 final. Okay, we went way too far. We went way too far. Way too far with this evil push.
10-year title reign. It's closer than you think, SP3.
They already ruined your big Tokyo Dome main event where they gave it away. They gave away Evil versus Takeshita. They heard you. They see Gato watches ITW too.
Yeah, that was going to be 10 years in the making. Gato just throws it on the finals with no build. Terrible booking. Awful booking. I would have booked Evil and Zach in the finals, and I would have had Zach put his title on the line in the finals, and then Evil would have won the finals, and he would have won the title, and that's how there would be no Wrestle Kingdom main event, because Evil would just say, I'm the champion, and I won the G1. The Wrestle Kingdom main event would have been a celebration of Evil. That's what I would have done. And that's when Takeshita would have introduced the old IWGP Championship to start the 10-year build for Takeshita and Evil. That's how we would have booked it. Real stories.
I think we're all glad that didn't happen.
Real stories, everybody.
Your pen ran out of ink. So you couldn't write that. I'm glad he only listened to half of what you had to say. Half of what you had. He said Evil and Takeshita. That sounds like a good G1 matchup. G1 final. There you go.
My pen is never out of ink. I got stories for days.
I hope it's out of ink. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any of that. Especially after Evil stunk up the joint against Tsuji. That was one of the worst matches of the tournament.
By the way, because I don't think you've been on the show since, Yota Tsuji said what I said, is that we need the old IWGP title back because that has the real history and everything, and nobody wants this old... See? Tsuji's on board with me. I'm trying to bring back
do the
real
angle.
Tradition.
You need to adjust your angle and do it with Tsuji. Tsuji's the guy to bring back the old IWGP.
All right, fine. We'll do a 10-year build for Tsuji.
But not Evil. No, it's Takeshita. Takeshita's holding the title.
It doesn't make any sense with Takeshita.
He won't show up and defend it. It
doesn't make any sense.
He's defending it on AEW television, not in New Japan.
It's no good with Takeshita. Everybody likes him. You need to go with somebody that people don't like.
No, they do like Evil. If you heard the final, oh my god.
That's true. They've turned on Takeshita.
That final atmosphere, that crowd was freaking awesome. I enjoyed the hell out of that crowd. That dynamic when the match first starts and you hear them say, first you hear loud like Takeshita, and then it turns into Evil, and they're cheering for Evil a little bit more in the first 3 minutes, and then as soon as House of Torture comes in, boo, we hate this. It's like it literally was an atmosphere of not like because there's people on the New Japan timeline that are like, oh my god, you heard that crowd? Everybody wanted Evil to win. I was like, no, that's not what they were cheering for. It was like they were cheering for the homegrown New Japan star to beat the foreign star, the invading star. I was like, no, that wasn't it either. It's pretty simple. They were cheering for Evil to just wrestle because they know Evil is actually good if he just wrestles and doesn't do any of the House of Torture bollocks that we all hate except for Jeremy. So that is what this crowd wanted. They wanted him to wrestle because when the House of Torture bollocks was all taken away, the final 10 minutes of this matchup rocked. It was so good. Evil fighting with fighting spirit, no selling stuff, getting up, getting himself riled up, and like getting the crowd behind him. The crowd roar every time he went for everything is evil, where they're like, everything is Everything is like every time he went for it, they yelled, "Everything is," and he kept not being able to finish that move, and they basically created a whole story where that could be the story if they ever meet again. That all Evil has to do is hit "Everything is Evil" because he wasn't able to hit it in this final matchup. He hit the reverse "Everything is Evil," which Takeshita was the first one to kick out of, but he never hit the original version.
Evil should have won.
No, I didn't say any of that.
Gato's a
I didn't
coward.
say any of that.
You just praised all of Evil's wrestling skills. You praised that the crowd was 100% behind him. I didn't hear any chants for Takeshita. And that they made a bad call because the crowd booed Takeshita out of the building when he won. And they said, we don't want this part-timer out here. Get out of here, you part-timer. That's what I heard. That's what I saw. The crowd was all boo, Takeshita, boo. And everybody's like, E-V-I-L, evil. They were all chanting it. They were all doing the hand signs. That's what I saw anyway.
And we're definitely not doing the hand sign.
I saw Evil carry Takeshita to maybe the best match of his career. He did.
What? You mean the best match of Evil's career? This is not even in the top 10 of Takeshita's career.
What was better?
Great match though. I love the match. Don't
Thanks
get me
to
wrong,
Evil.
but it's not a top 10 Takeshita matchup. Both of his matchup with Ospreay are better.
Nah,
Both of his main matches with Kenny Omega are better.
Overrated.
All right, I'm not even gonna do this. I'm not even gonna deal with it. It's not even his best match in New Japan. The El Phantasmo match was better. David Finlay and Zack Sabre Jr. in the rounds before this were better matches. This was just the best Evil match ever.
Evil had to carry him to his greatest match of all time. This is like a mid-Evil match, you know. His performances earlier in the tournament were a whole lot better.
He didn't have one good match this entire tournament until the final. Yeah, everybody hated that match
because they don't recognize real wrestling. That's why they hated it.
You don't recognize real wrestling if you're calling this real wrestling.
The Sonata match, that was great.
The Sonata match was good for one laugh. One laugh in its 8-minute duration.
The Tai Chi match.
That sucked. That was really bad.
Disagree.
That sucked. Who else? Tsuji. The first match with Tsuji sucked. The second match with Tsuji sucked.
I think you're really underselling the Tanahashi match, honestly. That might be one of the greatest matches of all time. Where Evil once again.
You want to see a good Tanahashi and Evil matchup? Watch their Wrestle Kingdom match. Their Wrestle Kingdom match was really good. It was so much better than anybody gave it any right to be. But this G1 matchup, it was awful. And I knew it was going to be awful. And I didn't listen to any of these New Japan fans who try to gaslight me and be like, oh, the first couple of minutes was actually good. When Evil tried to wrestle, it was actually good. I was like, well, if you know in the back of your mind it's not going to end until he cheats, then wouldn't that affect your enjoyment of the matchup?
No, all these people watch WWE every week. They don't care. Apparently
that ruins my whole feelings for a matchup is how it ends, how it finishes.
They finished with Evil winning. It's a great ending.
No, it sucked.
Why are you such a hater?
If Evil just won these matches, I'd probably enjoy it more. But all he does is shenanigans. And I have to watch Don Fale. You know I'd do anything to not watch another Don Fale matchup or a match that he gets involved in. Please. He's getting a shot at the never open weight championship, for crying out loud.
He is winning these matches. I don't understand what you mean. If he was just winning, he is just winning his matches.
He's winning because he loves to cheat.
by any means necessary. Everybody loved Eddie Guerrero when he did it.
Eddie Guerrero was entertaining when he cheated.
Evil's entertaining.
No, he's not. No, he's not. That's a lie.
Entertainment is a subjective art.
That's a lie.
That entertainment's a subjective art? That's not a lie.
No, that's a lie that Evil's entertaining. I'm still on that.
Oh. Well,
Evil is not entertaining.
I think he's very entertaining.
All right, name your top 10 Evil matches that were good.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
No, I'm being serious. Why won't you answer the question seriously?
Tetsuya Naito.
Oh my god, he's never had a good match. He's had one good matchup with Naito, and I'm sure you're not going to name the right one.
The one where he won the title.
Yeah, that was awful. So yeah, continue. You're just naming the worst, the top 10 worst.
All of his title defenses.
He had one. It was actually a good match. I'll see if you know who was it against.
Kota Ibushi.
Wrong.
No, I was naming a good Evil match. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Naming
Kota Ibushi. I don't remember it, so I can't say if it was or not.
The 2019 Evil G1 run was generational.
That was actually good Evil. That was the last time he had good matches before Sunday.
Generational run. Go back and watch 2019 Evil in the G1.
That was before House of Torture. So yeah.
That's when everybody knew he was ready to be the top guy.
Okay, you gonna name another Evil match? Top 10?
Will Ospreay.
Well, Will Ospreay. It's pretty hard to have a bad matchup with Will Ospreay. It wasn't even a great Will Ospreay match. It wasn't even top 50 Ospreay match.
Ishii.
Yeah, he has good matches with Ishii.
Just all
most of them happen. I'm talking about House of Torture. You wasn't shooting in this Evil gym in 2019. Don't bring up 2019 to me.
I have been shooting in the Evil gym.
You started shooting when the house was built. You was part of the construction team that built the House of Torture. So that's when you jumped on this. That's what you created a house and you created a bandwagon for it. And that's when you started this.
I've been doing
that's when it
time.
That's when it became fun to be an Evil fan. It's 2000.
Remember when I just Googled my old tweets to see something. But in May 2024, Michael Cole, I tweeted this. It got a lot of likes, way too many likes. Michael Cole just said, great matches with the likes of Evil, and you know he's just reading Cage Match and didn't watch that shit.
That's what somebody wanted to tweet out about you, naming Evil matches that are good. Like, someone knows this guy's just reading from Cage Match. Reading anything with something with green next to it on Cage Match.
I'm not even reading stuff with green on Cage Match. I'm just naming. I'm just naming, like, all right, who was good in 2019 New Japan? Let me just throw them out there.
No, we got a preference.
I'm hitting dark.
How's the Torture Evil?
I'm hitting somebody with throwing out, Okada, Ospreay, Naito. They were all there in 2019.
Like, I'm over here and like answering you seriously. Like, that was actually a good match.
You know, my memory doesn't work that well to name Evil matches from that long ago.
His Kenny Omega match was great. I'll give you that. But that's 2019. 2019 Evil is not the same person that we're talking about here.
Great matches with Sonata as a tag team. He carried Sonata in that tag team.
Why are you still talking about L.I.J. Sonata? I mean, L.I.J. Sonata and L.I.J. Evil. L.I.J. Evil was actually good. You would not be shooting in the gym for him when he was actually good.
All of the Evil matches are great. Every single one of them.
You have not named one from the year 2020.
John Moxley. John Moxley.
That was actually not that good.
The lumberjack match?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that.
It doesn't matter what matches I'm gonna name. You're gonna say it wasn't that good. We have different tastes in wrestling.
Obviously, you enjoy stuff like Jenna Maraska versus Charlotte.
Yeah, that ruled. And she's throwing slaps like that. That was hilarious. How could you not enjoy that? We got to get back on Worst of the Weeds, by the way.
We got to do Evil Worst of the Weeds.
We got to do Hogan. We still have to do Hogan.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. That is true.
Because we got to rewatch my favorite match of all time. That's the only reason I care to do Hogan.
I know.
Is we have to watch that.
Triple Cage time.
Yeah, we have to watch that match. We have to watch that. We have to watch the Warrior match because that match is hilarious.
Yeah, the Warrior match I'm looking forward to. I would love to watch the War Games and then the Warrior match right after.
Oh,
the War Games in '98.
Okay, I don't remember the War Games match that well. I know
that was the whole thing that's set up. Yeah, the Warrior matchup.
Yeah, I know it's set up. I just
but it's a horrible clusterfuck. I just remember that much.
All right,
so yeah,
we'll have to do that at some point. We'll get the Miz. The Miz doesn't have the Miz just has fine passable matches.
Or boring matches.
Awful, yeah. Are there any awful Miz matches?
Cena, 27.
Oh, WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and he got concussed in that. I feel bad for him, honestly. That's why Brock and Lesnar or Brock and Undertaker from WrestleMania. That's not a good match, but knowing a dude got concussed legit, I'm all right. I feel a little bit bad that this match just kind of goes off the rails with things. Yeah, because
I was gonna say the first Miz Cena match from the Bash 2009.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, he squashes him when Miz is on the rise. When Miz is first getting his first push as a single star, Cena just squashes him.
Okay, that rules. John Cena. I love John Cena because he's I've never once picked my opponent in 25 years. I don't pick my opponent. I was yeah, but you picked the ending to some of these fucking matches.
That's where you choose. That's when you're I'm not playing this card. Give me another card.
You might not pick the opponent, but you pick who's beating you and who's not. That much is true.
Yeah, the Miz squash is not that talked about anymore because of eventually Miz made it to the main event of WrestleMania, but that was one of those big instances I remember because I was might have been 20, 21 at the time, and I was just this doesn't seem right. I was Miz should not just be getting squashed. They had the whole gimmick where it was basically a remake of the Jericho Goldberg rivalry, where Miz was calling out Cena and Cena would not answer, and he was I won. I'm 1-0 against John Cena.
I mean, that's what should have happened to Jericho if Goldberg and him actually
each other, I feel those are two different situations.
There's a TLC match with Jerry Lawler. I have a vague memory of that. This is Miz, by the way.
Yeah, Miz had some good matches with Jerry Lawler, ironically.
Yeah, a TLC match. All right.
I remember that because that was the one that inspired them to do the Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole angle at WrestleMania.
That's a match we got to rewatch.
That is a horrible match. We're saving that for WrestleMania season.
All right.
Yeah, we got to save that. I can only watch that a year apart from one another.
I'm looking to see. All right, Miz has got Miz and Bray Wyatt. Dave gave this a.
That was awful. Yeah.
At TLC.
Yeah, that was really bad.
How long is this match?
That was
6 minutes. Was that when Bray was the champion?
Yeah, and he came out as He came out as Firefly Funhouse Bray instead of the Fiend.
Yeah, that did suck. I do remember that now. Babyface Miz, what a time. Babyface Miz is the worst variant of Miz ever. Yeah, that Shane McMahon Miz match at Mania was also terrible.
That was not
That
good.
was, yeah, that sucked as well. I remember that match.
Yeah, Miz has had his fair share of really bad matches.
That match was like long though. I don't want to watch. 15 minutes. You could have told me that match was 30 minutes. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was longer than that. That was 35. Like that was a long show.
Yeah, 35 feels like it was a couple of days old. Yeah.
All right. Again, Miz is like fine. Miz just has like fine matches. Nothing terrible.
We can watch the worst Evil matches. That's what we need to do. Evil versus Sonata from last year for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Awful matchup. Evil's had a lot of stinkers with Tanahashi. Had a bunch of stinkers with Naito. You can watch his whole G1 run from this year. It's just nothing but bad matches. Bad matches. Then you slightly smile for the Sonata match. Then more bad matches. And then finally, at the end of the tournament, when it's mostly I think the final is great because New Japan basically created this feeling in a lot of us fans of nervousness, of like they just did something stupid, but are they that stupid? Will they actually give it to the guy that would legitimately guarantee you're having a bad match at your biggest show of the year? And it's just something about, I've never felt that nervous going into a New Japan main event like I did for Evil and and Konosuke Takeshita. Like there was a nervousness of that. There was a nervousness of my tweet saying that I was gonna quit in the weeds, because I enjoy in the weeds. I enjoy talking to Jeremy on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I enjoy my times here with Joel. I enjoy all of you except for Zeno Hour in the chat. So like I was really like, oh man, I'm gonna have to quit this. I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna have to quit this. I saw my New Japan fandom. I was gonna stop watching New Japan and stop covering it on like Sports Illustrated, True Heel Heat. Did not matter. Stop talking about it here. I was not gonna talk about it if Evil won that match. So when Takeshita slapped the mat that one time, I was like, wait, no. I was like, my whole fandom, my whole time here on In the Weeds flashed before my eyes. No, it wasn't.
That was a tap out. What was it? I'm gonna file a complaint with Gato. I don't appreciate that Gato doesn't recognize what a tap out is.
That wasn't a tap out.
Nah, I disagree. I think
he was slapping the mat trying to get to the ropes.
Tapping out.
No, he wasn't.
Tapping out. Yeah.
No, you have to tap 3 times. You have to tap 3 times.
It was the Brazilian tap out. UFC fighters that always do that. They would do like the singular tap to get him to release the hold, and then they're like, that wasn't a tap. I was just trying to like get out of it. Yeah, that's what Takeshita was doing. See, he was doing the singular tap so Evil would release the hold, thinking he had won. But then like, I wasn't tapping out. I was just slapping the mat. Like, no, it's a tap out, dude. Don't slap the mat at all. It's a tap out. Cowardly on Gato not to recognize it. Cowardly on the referee not to recognize it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The fix is in against my guy Evil.
The fix is in? I think the fix was in his favor.
How?
Why was he in the G1 final?
Because
I will never understand that. He is not.
Let's go, Evil. You're the best wrestler alive. Let's go, Evil. You're the best wrestler alive.
What did you think about that crowd reaction? Were you surprised that the crowd was in favor
for the finals?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was like, they've sat through all this House of Torture stuff and they're cheering this guy. All right, dropping the bit for a second. This shit ain't working. Like, it's not working. They're trying to make him a heel they're trying to make him evil, right? Like, yeah. Oh, we hate this House of Torture stuff. It's a bunch of run-ins and just like, this isn't our New Japan. So theoretically, that's supposed to just generate good heat. I mean, actually generating good heat. Because 1, they were cheering for him in the finals. 2, attendance is just down. across the board. And
ridiculously for the final two shows, and it's also the fact that before they cheered him in the final, you know what they cheer for him in what's the translation from Japanese to English? They cheer at him go, like go away. That's what they're chanting at
go.
him.
Go
no,
evil.
no, they're like go. Just go. Stop this shit.
Go evil. Like evil, the evil stuff is fine as a lower mid card act. Like you want to do run-ins and all the House of Torture nonsense. Like you can do that in the mid card and it's fine. Like there is a standard in the New Japan main event that this stuff should not be happening. Because even when Bullet Club was like at their worst with things, it wasn't this level of running in and screwing up main events. At least the main event matches, all right, you might have had people at ringside for you, but it wasn't 15 people interfering and then a ref bump and Finn Balor wins, Prince Devitt. Carl Anderson wins. AJ Styles wins. It wasn't this level of interference and running people off. Like, it's not good. I can objectively say it's not good. It's still hilarious to me.
I hate it. I hate it so much because he's a good wrestler. That's the more frustrating part, is that he's a good wrestler, but this nonsense, this House of Torture BS is the only reason that he's not. That's the most frustrating part. And especially because all the members kind of showed that throughout this tournament, that they don't really need to do the House of Torture stuff, but they're asked to do it, and it makes them objectively worse wrestlers. Ren Narita, when he cut out all the House of Torture run-ins and shenanigans, he had a really good matchup with Zack Sabre Jr. on opening night. Sonata, when he was keeping it somewhat calm with the House of Torture nonsense in the first half of the tournament, he was having decent to fine matches. Then when they turned up all the House of Torture stuff, Ren Narita had a bad match with Konosuke Takeshita. That's bad. And this is one of the House of Torture matches where they get their comeuppance, where they lose in the end. It's still not a good matchup. It would be one thing if the matchups that they win because they go overboard with the interference are bad. No, even the matches that they lose are either forgettable or they're bad because it's too much of one thing.
Oh, he lost in the finals. Don't have to worry about him.
Thank God. So what do you think they're going to do, though, with Takeshita winning?
I hope he main events the Tokyo Dome as the champion, or going for the title. Like, if you want to take the title off Zack in the meantime, okay. I don't know about that. Like, I think Zack and Takeshita should just be the main event. Zack's headlined the Tokyo Dome last year. Like, he can headline the Tokyo Dome again. I don't love it, though. That's the thing. It doesn't scream like ushering. It doesn't
scream Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah, but no. What does though?
I think like, Takeshita and Tsuji could get there.
Like, I'm in agreement with you, but they're so gun shy on Tsuji because if they weren't, they would have just had him win the G1. And they didn't. So I don't have a whole lot of faith that they... What about Takeshi and Goto? What if Goto wins the title back from Zack between now and Wrestle
Takeshi and Goto, I didn't think about that one. That would be that's a better option than Takeshi and Shota. Because, like, Takeshita and Yota, to me, is the best case scenario after Takeshita wins the G1. It's Takeshita wins the IWGP title from Zack. You have in the meantime, you have Tsuji beat all the guys that beat him in the G1. He's got David Finlay at Destruction in September. Give him a rematch against Evil at, like, King of Pro Wrestling or Power Struggle, and he beats him. And then he can be, like, the challenger for Wrestle Kingdom. That's the best case scenario. I like you just brought up Goto. I would love Goto as well because he could be like, I lost the title. I wasn't able to be in G1. I'm the biggest star in New Japan now. I've been in Street Fighter, and I beat Takeshita in last year's G1. So he has a lot of stuff that works in his favor. Shota Umino, I don't want this at all. Don't get me wrong, but he's the one that you already see how they set it up. Like, as soon as Takeshita won the G1, and he's already talking about, oh, he might take his title match early. And I'm like, oh, no. Last year, Zack took his title match early, and he won it, and he beat Naito at King of Pro Wrestling. And who did he verse at the Tokyo Dome? He versed the guy that beat him in the G1. He versed Shota Umino. Konosuke Takeshita wins the G1 and could beat Zack for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Who beat him in the tournament? Zack, which he had avenged the loss twice. ELP, who never beat him before, and this was his first time beating him after like 4 or 5 tries. And Shota Umino. Shota Umino, out of all 3 of those choices, is the one that makes the most sense. He already beat him in the G1. This is what New Japan would do. They would put Shota Umino in the main event against Takeshita. Especially after Evil beats Tsuji, I would not be surprised if Shota Umino's in back-to-back Tokyo Dome main events.
Shota's rebounded after a terrible start to the year. I'm not going with him in another main event of the Tokyo Dome. I can't do it. I can't do it. You could be right. That could very well be where they're going, but I can't do it after last year. You gotta, like I said this going into this year, you needed to make some new guys, and they didn't really make any new guys. And then going into the G1, you need to make some new guys. They still didn't make any new guys. Like, we know who the guys are. They're just afraid to pull the trigger on them right now. I would go with Tsuji and Takeshita. I would have Tsuji win the title. And I would have Tsuji win the G1, and then Tsuji wins the title through that means, and they didn't do it. I might be able to talk myself into Takeshita and Goto at this point, honestly. Like,
I wouldn't mind that.
I don't know how
those two are much better options than Shota Umino.
Yeah, I wouldn't have Shota. Yeah, Zack and Takeshita just doesn't feel like a Tokyo Dome main event. And no. I got nothing against Zack, but it's not his fault that Shota match was not good in the main event. Him and Takeshita will have a great match in the Tokyo Dome main event. Zack doesn't feel on the level of a top gaijin the way, AJ did, the way Kenny did, like even the way Ospreay did. Like, he feels
Ospreay and Jay White.
Yeah, he feels a level below all of those guys.
Yeah. He still did not really draw that well as IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and we're gonna see how he draws in these last couple of months. For if it's just gonna end at King of Pro Wrestling against Takeshita, how he draws at Destruction in Kobe, how he draws at King of Pro Wrestling. See if he does well there. But yeah, they by running Takeshita and Zack twice in 1 month, you've kind of taken away. Like, if they didn't face in the tournament, then that would be a cool Wrestle Kingdom main event, even though I feel like you're missing something because you don't have anyone that's from the Noge Dojo. That would be the first time that they ever had, I think, especially in recent memory, but I think ever, they would have a Tokyo Dome main event with no one who's a homegrown New Japan star. They at least have to have one who's a homegrown New Japan star in the main event. So that's why I think it's Tsuji.
We'll see how it plays out in the coming weeks and months with the Wrestle Kingdom main event, and if Takeshita gets his shot earlier. Takeshita should just get a shot at Forbidden Door. That's where all these other title matches are going down. I know it's Nigel.
Already had a match set up.
Yeah,
Nigel.
He should cash in. He should be like, no, I won the G1. I want to make this a triple threat match between Zack, Nigel, and myself. That's
You
what he
mean
should do.
execute his contract?
Yeah, that's what he should do. Let's talk about Raw. Actually, I have to talk about Raw because Triple H was like, I'll just do an Extreme Rules match. And then you can't say it was a DQ. I was waiting for them to do like a non-finish anyway. I was waiting for them to just like do all the run-ins and then Roman and Jay stand tall, but nobody actually got pinned. And you're supposed to just forget that anybody got pinned. If that happened, I would not have reviewed this show. Like, you know what?
They skated around the same result.
They did a DQ or non-finish in a Hell in a Cell match. I don't put it past this company that they can do a non-finish in an Extreme Rules match.
Two Hell in a Cells. Two back-to-back years they did.
Right.
They did that.
Yeah, so. But they had a finish. Jey Uso won. Roman Reigns kept his shoes. Just a fine match. Everybody ran in, as you would expect everybody to do. I don't know. Like, Roman's spear on Braun was really cool.
Yeah.
That's it. It felt slow moving. Like, all right, they're just going through it here. And again, fine match. Old Bloodline actually stands tall. Anything on the main event, SP3?
It was fine. I thought the wrestling on this show was a little bit down from the week prior because I don't think anything was as good as EO versus Roxanne from last week. This week, the main event was probably one of the best matches, if not the best matchup on the show. And it was just a fine plunder match. They used the plunder. Braun had a nice spot where he got back body drop into the supermarket cart. I liked Jey Uso. I like Jey Uso coming out as New Jack in Philadelphia. That played off of the opening promo very well. And Braun Breaker, he always looks like a beast in these matches, and this was no different. I like the interference from LA Knight and CM Punk and Seth Rollins, where this match was really used to kind of build up the four-way for the World Heavyweight Championship, as well as set up Bronson versus Roman at Clash in Paris. So they built up the two main feuds going into Clash in Paris. So a job well done for them.
Yeah. Paul Heyman wishes Tommy Dreamer was dead. A very wild mind from Paul.
That was wild considering didn't y'all just have like a legendary wrestler just pass away? Maybe we shouldn't be joking about people should just drop. I understand that's probably their sense of humor and they known each other for 30, 35 years. But still, it's just like, okay.
Also, if you Google Paul Heyman, Tommy Dreamer dead, Tommy Dreamer tells the story. This was years ago. But he was very depressed and he thought about going to WrestleMania 18 to kill Paul Heyman and then shoot himself. It's a very famous story Tommy Dreamer tells. Maybe we shouldn't be wishing death upon somebody who... maybe this was Heyman's get back. Is you know what? He was going to kill me at WrestleMania 18. I wish he was dead. Yes, it was 17. Sorry, WrestleMania 17. Regardless, I'm sure that's their sense of humor. I'm sure Tommy Dreamer took it in jest, that's just Paul Lee being Paul Lee. It's all right. Braun Breaker did have a good ad-lib. He's not dead.
He's not dead?
Heyman's just
Paul,
unfortunately not.
Can we just admit Braun Breaker's the best part of this Vision stable?
Oh, he's so good.
He's the best.
He's
part
so
of
good
the
with
Vision
his ad
stable.
libs. Yeah, he's amazing. He's great. Just friends wishing death upon each other. Classic friend ribbing. That's message
classic
board.
friend talk. Yeah,
it's like we would do on the message boards back in the day. Of you should die. It's ha ha ha. We're just joking around on the message boards. It's not 2000 anymore, where this is jokes to do. Absolutely a wild line from Paul Heyman, but not out of the ordinary. Honestly, not out of the ordinary. Yeah, the rest of that promo, just Paul Heyman doing his big spiel for everybody. And I'm
I was yo, this Are we supposed to have like serious conversations about the vision? Because I think we've reached the time. Like they finally got a name, but this doesn't feel like, despite them finally getting a name, which was one of my main complaints, they still haven't addressed the real problem here. They're a heel stable that gets cheered and gets their song sung to the ring. This will never work as long as they refuse to change Seth's music, and that's the music that this group comes out to. There's a disconnect in what the group is trying to accomplish and the reaction that they get. That is an issue that they seem to not want to address, because apparently either Seth or the group in totality enjoys getting cheered too much.
It's that, and I don't think like Heyman's big introduction helps, because people like cheering and chanting along with Heyman's introduction. So
Also
that's
true.
going to get them cheered as well. There's
But
too many
I'd rather Heyman have the spiels and get the cheers than the top heel in the company, who gets his song sung to the ring and gets them to sing along with him. Why do you think that they did that whole segment last night to kick off the show? What was the key factor in that segment where I would say it was at least passable? I don't know if it was good. It wasn't bad. It was passable. Why? Because Seth Rollins never spoke.
I say Seth not speaking.
That's
Jey
been
Uso
I think that was a statement that WWE realizes what's been the big problem with these Vision open segments is that Seth talks and just wipe it all away. We don't even know what the point of all of this was, because he just talked. He says the same spiel he was saying as a babyface. He changed nothing about himself since turning heel. He's not been a good top heel. He is just not. I'm a huge fan of Seth Rollins. I was one of the guys that said he keeps getting passed over for being a top guy and being the number one guy in the company, and he still isn't, but at least he's the top heel, but he's not doing the things that you need to do as the top heel, so it makes it lack a lot of meaning and substance.
Yeah, he's not delivered a good heel promo of to really just solidify everything, because you're right, he does want to be cheered and he wants to chant my name. I'm a visionary, I'm a revolutionary, I'm Seth Freaking. See, that's the part where even if Heyman's delivering, I don't think it works, because the crowd just wants to cheer with that stuff. Like, I don't think you can do that. I don't mind Heyman doing the talking. I don't need the long introductions though for the promos. You know, when Heyman would do it with Roman and with Brock before the matches, like, it's one thing, but doing it as part of the promo with everything, it's like it doesn't, because Roman did the, you know, whichever city acknowledge me, and then but that was a dickish move of like he needed the acknowledgement because he's the tribal chief. Rollins doesn't have any of that. Rollins is trying to play Monday Night Raw host when he's the champion. You don't need to host the show. Just go out there and be the champion and deliver a mission promo of what you're doing out here. The Rollins, we've talked about it, but it doesn't work well. Them as a heel group. They've got good baby faces to go up against. It doesn't help that the baby faces are infighting with everything, and not that everyone like needs to unify against them, because they're not the bloodline to that point. And Roman and Jey are unified.
But we all know what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen in like 8 weeks. 8 weeks, we know there's going to be a bunch of baby faces who team up to take down the Vision. We know the Vision is either going to get an ally or a new member of the group, because it's Survivor Series season, and that's what they do every year. We've already reached a point that it took like NXT to like 2019, 2020 to have that feeling of maybe we've overdone the War Games thing. And they had that feeling last year. Last year, they should have just done OG Bloodline and New Bloodline, because that just made sense to do. But they shouldn't have done the Women's War Games, because that was just haphazardly put together. And that was the first sign that I was like, I think that we are in the last great year for Triple H's booking, and nothing I've seen in 2025 has gone me against that prediction, which seems like it was correct. And this year, there's no direction to go for the women to have a War Games matchup again, and it's quite obvious how they're going to put together the men's War Games at this point.
The women's war games, I think you might be able to do Roxanne, Raquel, Asuka, and Kyrie, Io, Rhea, Alexa, and Charlotte.
See that you already messed. You got 6 names in, and then you realized where you messed up. You was like, damn, there's only the women's tag team.
I mean, they can run back the Judgment Day stuff. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. Because there's no, it's nobody else on that side. I mean, if Bayley turns, you do Becky, Bayley. I don't know where else you're going with that. Other side is like Lyra, Nikki. And they got time. It's still a few months away. The fact that I got 6 down.
That was impressive.
And then if you go Vecker, Nikki, all right. See, I think there's options there for the women. I don't think it's completely dead in the water.
I think it is, because I don't expect them to put it together very well. They're not going to put this together until like 2 weeks before and be like, see, look, the women get a War Games too. Look at that. We can do it for both of them. Because that's how it came off last year.
They should do what was it? WCW did it the one time where it was like, didn't they have like 3 teams? It was like WCW, NWO Red, NWO.
That was the 1998 War Games. That was the awful match I'm talking about.
DDP won that, right?
Yeah, he pinned Stevie Ray.
Yeah, and then he got a world title shot off of it. That was the whole
against Goldberg.
Yeah, that's what they should do with this. They should do tag teams. You gotta find a tag team partner, but the winner gets a singles title shot. That's what I would do.
I'm with it.
Just mix it up. Just mix it up. Have like 4 teams, and then who we get? We get Braun and Bronson, Roman and Jay. CM Punk and LA Knight can they coexist, because they're like, we want our title shot, so we'll work together here, because I mean, it's tag teams, but it's a solo shot anyway. And then we'll use a SmackDown team. We gotta have a SmackDown team in there. Solo and Talatonka. More bloodline.
No, I was gonna say Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre would fit.
Oh, Logan and Drew. Okay. I was just gonna go more bloodline. You can never have enough bloodline.
You can never have enough with them.
More bloodlines coming.
Even though the MFTs, they feel like the NWO 2000 of bloodline fame. But yes, a new member of the bloodline has been created, Jeremy.
Yeah, more bloodline is coming. Naomi did announce she was pregnant. I guess Jimmy Uso kind of announced it, and a video clip
that was
from
so weird. I was like, you guys did not have any time to plan this, huh?
They had a whole week. She knew last Sunday. They had a whole week. Oh, I think they did have time to plan it. They just decided that was the best way to go with it. Congratulations to Naomi and Jimmy Uso. They made the joke, so I can make the joke. They did not proceed with caution and that's how Naomi ended up pregnant.
He did not proceed with condoms either.
Naomi's healing this up was so good.
Yo, she's cackling. This was by far the best thing on the show.
Yeah.
Because she was able to balance this is a babyface thing where the crowd can be happy for me, and something that's so beautiful and a creation out of the love between her and Big Jim. and then immediately turns it into her being a character at the same time. She's so good. She's one of the best.
It's a shame. Again, congratulations to them. It does suck that it's coming in the middle of like this fantastic run for her, and who knows what the landscape will be a year from now, because I know she said 9 months and some change, but like it ain't gonna be like 9 months. Your body's got to readjust. You have postpartum and everything. Like it takes a little while. So who knows what the landscape's gonna be looking like a year from now, potentially even longer than that, when she is able to return, because she's been fantastic during this run. And I don't know if you listened to the podcast with Jimmy and Naomi with Stephanie that released after the show, but I listened to it, and Jimmy, like you could tell Naomi just feels legitimately terrible that like it's happening right now. And Jimmy's like, I got to tell like all her fans, like she feels terrible. Like she is sorry that this is happening right now. And they're like, we don't want fans to be upset over what's going on. And I hope all the fans are just happy for her, like they should be.
Yeah.
And it's not like, how could you do this now? Like think of your career. Like don't be that person. Don't be a dick about things. But even they recognize like, yeah, it's great. Like she's healthy right now. Everything's good. Everything's on track. She says she's 7 weeks, which means she defended the title at SummerSlam. Well,
she won the title. She won the title pregnant. So that was cheating. It was 2-on-1 advantage over. It was a tag team match because she beat 2 people to become the champion.
So it wasn't really cheating. It was a tag team match. She had the odds even there. That's all.
True.
She's good.
True.
She's good.
But what a like great like career milestones. Like now that her career, basically her year is over, she's had so many career milestones in 2025. Like given the opportunity to turn heel, that amazing promo where she revealed that she was behind the Jade Cargo attack from last year is one of the best promos of the entire year in all of wrestling. The great promo exchange with Bianca in Tennessee, where she revealed that she was stalking her and looking through her photo album and everything, and said that she was going to put her in a wheelchair just like her mama. She won the Money in the Bank, had a spotlight matchup at WrestleMania, then cashes in Money in the Bank to win the WWE Women's World Championship at the second ever all-women's PLE, then got to open SummerSlam with her father playing her down to the ring, playing guitar with her down to the ring. So, and really this whole run like solidified she's a main eventer now within the women's division. Like I think that she comes back to a higher spot than when she originally came back to the company last year.
And hopefully, again, we don't know what the landscape is going to look like, but hopefully she's able to pick up where she left off when she does return. And if you listen to the podcast with Naomi and Jimmy, you would know Naomi had some health issues, and like they didn't think it was possible. That's why they were joking, like that's why we proceeded without caution, because we didn't think it was gonna happen, and then it happened. So it was good. It was good she was able to have this happen, because she's talked about kids before and how she wasn't sure if it was gonna happen, but if it does, that would be great. So hopefully she just gets through the pregnancy healthy and delivers healthy, and everything comes out good. So congratulations to Naomi and Big Jim. Big Jim got it in.
He definitely did. He did not proceed with condoms or caution. So yeah, I'm very happy for them, because if y'all remember, I'm an old school Total Divas fan. And that was one of like their main storylines when they were on Total Divas together, was the fact that Jim wanted to have a kid with her, but she had some, health issues. So I understand this was a surprise. And usually with kids, it's always usually a surprise when it happens. So I'm happy for them. That's a great thing. And just to go along, like, I think there's no denying 2025 has been the year of Naomi, despite it having to end inside the, WWE for the year. Everything that she was able to accomplish, and then having her first child with her husband, that's just the best year ever. There's no one's beating that.
Congrats to Naomi. She relinquished the title. So, what do we think at Clash in Paris? Stephanie Vicker was owed a title shot at Clash in Paris. Io Sky was supposed to have a title shot last week. You think they're doing Io and Stephanie at Clash in Paris?
I think they're doing a 3-way.
Okay,
You do
I'm on the same page as you.
Io gets the shot because she was supposed to get it last week. Steph gets the shot because she won at Evolution, and the winner of Roxanne and Rhea gets the third spot.
Oh, okay.
Because they already announced that matchup for next week, so you can very easily say it's for the third spot in a triple threat.
I forgot they announced that match. I just figured Roxanne because Roxanne beat Io last week. No offense to Rhea. I don't need her back in this spot again.
They're like it wouldn't. These people will never say Io and Rhea is old. They just say run it back again. Run it back. Put someone else. Put another third person in that matchup. It was an all timer with Bianca. It was great with Naomi. It will be fantastic with Stephanie Vicker. Just throw another third person in there with them.
You're right. It probably will be Rhea. I hope that Roxanne gets in there. At least we mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you get a DQ because they're due a DQ, God. And it leads to both women, and it becomes a 4-way.
I could see that.
That would be something different since they've pretty much.
A DQ match is different?
No, I'm talking about the 4-way. It's different from them running a third triple threat 3 pay-per-views in a row.
I don't want that. I don't want it. They owe us an Io and Stephanie Vicker match that has a finish.
I agree.
They don't really owe us anything because they would owe us a lot in that case. But they owe us that one. Like we've had 2 matches that have ended in no contests or DQs. We need an actual match that has a finish between them. I think they're definitely in. Roxanne or Rhea most likely gets added. I'm with you on that. I thought Roxanne because she beat Io last week, but you're right that they are doing Rhea and Roxanne, and they could easily make that. All right, you get added into the match. Raquel should just cost Rhea. Roxanne wins. Rhea will be fine. Asuka can cost Rhea. She will be fine. It'll be okay.
They're turning that up. They're not slow burning it anymore. They're kind of turning the heat up on the Asuka heel turn. She got the little meeting backstage where you could tell they still weren't, over how they were feeling, and they hugged each other. And then Io had her matchup with Raquel. And then after the match was over, because that's all Io asks, is the Kabuki Warriors not to come out there during the matchup. They could have came out and helped her, but they didn't because they promised her they wouldn't come out, apparently. And Rhea came out and made the save. And I was like, I saw Asuka and Kyrie pull up to them backstage. I was like, how you going to get upset? The match was over. This is you taking things too literal. Like, what is wrong with you? Getting in Rhea's face, getting into a whole argument, pissing off Io. And then Asuka told Rhea to stay out of her business. Stay out of their business.
Asuka's gonna miss all of them. It's gonna rule. So I can't wait for her. I hope she costs Rhea next week. Do an Asuka and Rhea one-on-one match. It'll be fine.
They've done that a lot.
It's been a while. I know that was a WrestleMania match, but it's been a while. Yeah. Because Asuka was out for so long.
Yeah. I think they want to run Io and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, they 100% want to run that. But I still would like to see Rhea and Asuka one-on-one. It's been a while for that. When was the last time they wrestled one-on-one?
I want to say 2021 or...
That's a long-ass time.
Huh. Or is it 2022?
One-on-one 2022. December 2022. It's still a while.
That is.
They should
But
be.
they never wowed me when they were in the ring together. Where I'm like, I want to see that again. Like Io and Asuka, they had a really damn good match on SmackDown for the WWE Women's Championship in 2023, and I want to see what they can do in like a full-fledged PLE matchup against one another. That's why I'm excited about Asuka teasing this heel turn. And they need someone to fill in this gap because literally people forget Naomi only came over to Monday Night Raw to fill in the spot left by Liv Morgan. Now you got Liv Morgan out with a serious shoulder injury until probably the end of the year. You got Naomi out with her first child. Now you need someone to fill in that top heel spot. So you can either turn one of your big three, or you could turn someone underneath who can fill in that spot. And it seems like that's what they're going with Asuka. Asuka could be. I think you're going to need more than one person. So I think that's also why they're kind of probably increasing or speeding up the whole Bayley heel thing. Because I love the vignette from last week. Last night's vignette was too heavy handed. It was
Oh,
too heavy handed. Came off very hokey, very 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 contrived. I did not like last night's vignette. I was like, all
really?
right, y'all turned it up. Y'all went from 0 and y'all already at 100. It seems.
So last week it was just she kind of heard screeching and ringing in her ears. What would you have done this week to slow burn it a little bit more?
I wouldn't have started the vignette with basically the immediate follow up to that because it was little subtle and it was at the end and then you fade to black last week and then you come back to this vignette this week and it's just all in your face of she's doing a monologue. But if you take it out of the kayfabe sense for 1 second, you're like, so she did a voiceover to talk in her own head. This is stupid.
You're not supposed to.
But I'm just saying, like, it was very stupid. It's stupid when you think about it from kayfabe sense as well.
You're not supposed to feel like she did a voiceover to talk to her own head.
Because it's her own voice. They're not
Now
even
then every movie who has the conscious.
They slightly distorted the voice last week, and then this week they just went, no, it's just her. It's just her voice.
Every movie that has a subconscious with a voice talking like that. Now you've just ruined it. Of like, oh, so they just recorded a voice so they could hear in their own head. This has ruined the film for me.
Well, to be fair, I know Paul Heyman is always like, the WWE deserves an Emmy, and all these people like cinema and all this crap. Wrestlers are not the best actors. Like
No.
Batista is the exception to the rule, where he is a good actor. Wrestlers are not good actors or actresses, and Bayley is an exceptional wrestler, but she's not a very good actress. So that's another reason why I just
They need the
be bothered.
voiceover. They need the voiceover. You ever see Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell? People in the chat, if you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. That's how they should do it. They're all just the voice they actually hear is Triple H or one of the 50 writers that they have, because they are writing the script for them and they're telling them what is going on here. And then Bayley has to be like, who is this voice? Although she would recognize Triple H's voice. It's not like some mysterious voice out there. Like Will Ferrell didn't know who the voice, the lady's voice was. But that's what it should be. Bayley should have to go to Triple H and be like, why are you writing this? Why are you writing that I'm going to be a hugger again? And then, she gets killed, but she doesn't get killed because if you've seen the movie, sorry to spoil Stranger Than Fiction for everybody. They rewrite the ending so Will Ferrell doesn't get killed to save his life, because she finds out Will Ferrell is a real person and she's not just writing a character. But that's what Bayley should play. It's like, I don't want to be the hugger. Don't write that. Write me something else. But then the voice in the head keeps going, you need a hug, you need a hug.
I did like that part. That was the only part of the vignette I liked, is at the end when she was like, you sound like all you need is a hug. That was cool.
Kevin Owens being the voiceover actually rules. If he's just like the conscience of all of wrestling. I mean, he
Of
kind of
all
is anyway.
WWE, of all
Yeah.
WWE, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of is anyway. I think that would actually be great. Just having give KO something to do while I was out as well. I'm for that. Maybe so Dino Hour, you're sworn in me. Pitches Psycho Bayley, heel Kylie Ray, and Wendy Chu in a faction. That sounds terrible, actually. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna...
awful. That's awful, like most
part...
of Xeno Hour's ideas. So
the only part I don't dislike of that is the part where, not Kylie Ray or Wendy Chu, but the part where it's a wrestler that Bayley doesn't know is like the voice in her head. And so that is who is speaking to her to become...
Oh, it's Lyra. It should have been Lyra.
Lyra? Oh,
Lyra in her head. Or Becky. It should have been Becky in her head.
Why is it Becky in her head?
Because that's all the doubts that she ever had. Like, it's always Becky who says all her doubts in her head and all this stuff that she's been saying to herself now. It's all been Becky before. So it wouldn't make sense there.
All right. I don't know about Becky.
I just didn't like it. I think they can get me back. It's not like, oh, this storyline's a wash. It's over. It wasn't that bad of a performance. It just didn't connect with me. It felt a little too heavy-handed.
Thea Hale in her head. Hell yeah. That's who it should be. Or Karrion Kross. This is how they bring back Karrion Kross with everything.
Could be.
Just...
He could be the voice in everybody's head.
I don't think it's... If Bayley says TikTok in the next couple of weeks, then...
Ooh, it's really him. He had a distorting voice. A distorting voice that made it sound like Bayley, but it was actually Karrion Kross.
Yeah. Karrion Kross could just throw his voice and sound like other wrestlers. He does a good Jesse Ventura impression, so maybe he has a good Bayley impression as well. We don't know. We've never seen it. I thought it was fine. I guess she's gonna be a heel now. We're gonna get heel Bayley. Maybe we get hugger Bayley.
It wasn't the worst thing on the show. I'll give it that.
What was the worst thing on the show?
What was your worst thing on the show?
I'm trying to think what else happened on this show. What did happen on this show?
I think that's the worst thing on the show, is that a lot of the show outside of the main event scene and Io Sky is forgettable. That's been my main complaint about this week and last week's show. I was like, you could just watch the Io Sky stuff and you could watch the main event stuff with the Vision and Punk and Knight and Reigns. Watch that stuff and then you're over it. They did freaking a follow-up to Triple Mania with the Judgment Day, where they had Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee in a tag team matchup, and Dragon Lee was the choice to lose. Dragon Lee.
Who else?
This man needs to leave. This man needs to leave. He needs to leave. They picking Mr. Iguana over Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee was once considered one of the greatest junior heavyweight wrestlers, not in the world, but in ever. in all time, yet he is out here losing to the Judgment Day because they don't want to job out Mr. Iguana, who we know is not a top star. He ain't a top star in the United States, no matter how loud his pop is, and he definitely ain't a top star in Mexico. He was like the second match at Triple Mania, third match on Triple Mania. He's never been in a main event. I've watched multiple AAA shows. I've never seen that man sniff the main event.
Why are you a hater? You know what the worst thing on this show was? And I feel bad. No one cares about this Becky Natalya stuff. The crowd didn't care a single second of this match. Like,
it was a good matchup for what it was. The crowd didn't care.
It was a technically fine match, as you would expect from Becky and Natalya. The problem is, one, Becky, her new music, people still haven't quite come around on that. The man has come around, but her music, they haven't come around on that. She ain't getting much of a reaction when that music hits. And you can't put Natalya in this spot thinking people are going to care when for years you've told us Natalya is just this person. And then when she wants to do the Loki Legend Natty stuff, she can't do it. And she tried. It was so funny yesterday when Becky was like, "Bring Natty. I'm sick of Natalya." And Natty had to respond like, "You don't dictate who I show up as." I was like, "Yeah, WWE dictates who you show up as because you want to be Natalya or you want to be Natty so bad. You would love to be Natty, but you can't. And so you have to act like, oh, you don't tell me to show up as Natty. Now I'm not going to show up as Natty. I'm going to show up as Natalya." It's like, nah, you don't want to be Natalya. That's why you're doing all this on the indies, because you want to be Natty.
Yeah.
And look, I like Natty. Natty's great.
Same.
But they're not going to let her do it. They're just, I don't know why. Yeah, if they allowed her to do it, I'm sure she'd still lose. She would, 100%.
Yeah, she still would lose. So you don't want to do it until at least they're going to give you a push to go along with it.
They're
But
not
yeah,
gonna give her a push.
there's nothing interesting about Natalya. Like the fact that she's able to be Natty outside of WWE, it's kind of like WWE's version of House of Torture. Like, we know Evil can be a good wrestler if he just cuts out all this House of Torture stuff. We know Natty can be interesting if she was Natty Neidhart, the low-key legend. But they just refuse. They refuse to not have House of Torture nonsense with Evil in New Japan, and they refuse to let Natalya be Natty in WWE. They're like, nope, we know you as this. Put on the cowboy hat, put on your Hart family colors, and shut up.
They're just not gonna let her be any. They're not gonna let her be Natty, and that's why I listened to Carl Anderson yesterday, and Carl Anderson was like, "If you're not one of their people, you're not one of their people. Doesn't matter what else you got going on." WWE is certainly relaxed on certain things. You know, you can work kind of outside ventures. You know, we've seen Natty in Bloodsport. We've seen a bunch of people in Bloodsport. You can do kind of outside things, and you can have a podcast, although now every podcast falls into the WWE umbrella and whatnot. You can do that. But if you ain't one of their people, you're just going to be who they want you to be on television. R-Truth is a great example of this.
I was so confused on why people were so excited. He had like a 1 minute segment on SmackDown, and they're like, "You see, he's doing a split personality character." I was like, "Oh, you got all of that from a 2 minute backstage segment. Congrats." I guess.
I mean, he is doing a split personality character,
but it's like the Vegas way to do it. It's like 1 week he's perfectly fine. He's gonna be R-Truth now. This week he snapped into it because he was threatened by somebody. If they're only going to give you 2 weeks, 2 minutes at a time, not everyone's carrying cross. Not everybody's going to get over that way. Some people actually need TV time for the crowd to get invested with them. But other than them doing backstage segments, I have no type of indication they're going to do anything to make the crowd care about an R-Truth split personality character.
I'm with you, because I don't think they see much in that. I think they want R-Truth to be R-Truth. They don't want him to be Ron Killings. That's why when he turned into Ron Killings, they did nothing with him for weeks. He's doing a good job in like the media. He's doing interviews, and sometimes he does the interviews as R-Truth, sometimes he does the interviews as Ron Killings. Like, it's a fun little nod if you're paying attention to that stuff. He might get some time on television to do it. He's probably just going to lose to Aleister Black, and then Damian Priest is going to come back, and that be that. And then we'll see if we see R-Truth or Ron Killings again after he loses to Aleister Black. But yeah, you can do little things, but they're not going to let you do as much as you want to do, especially if you're not just one of those people. I mean, I'm sure you read the headlines, listen to the interviews, whatever it might be. Zelina Vega talking like, "I wanted to take the U.S. title to AAA and defend it there. Like, we wanted to do so much more with it." And Carl Anderson's like, "We wanted to do more with the Never title." And it's like, all these people want to do more with things. They're just not going to be able to do a lot of these things. Sometimes it's television. Like, sometimes it's like, that doesn't make sense for our business. So we're not
Yeah.
going to let you do that. And like, you can't allow everyone to do every single thing they want to do, because then it becomes like, all right, you know, how does that ain't mixing with what we want to do? And like, it is their company. They still need to do what they need to do, you know? Other times it's just, well, that's not in our plans, and we don't see you like that. We just don't see you like that. So you just chill there. And when we have something for you, we'll let you know. But yeah, we just don't see you going to AAA and defending this title. Even though
But
it probably wouldn't hurt any of our plans. We just don't see that. So we're not gonna do that.
Bugaboo Jones is on to something. That's not the R-Truth thing. Is not split personality. It's code switching. That's all it really is. That's all it really is. Oh, let me talk to this person a little bit different than here. Just listen to a Drake album. Then you get the same connotation. So,
Bro, I laughed when I heard that new Drake song, and he's doing this accent that I've never heard him do before. I'm like, what is this accent that you've all of a sudden, you went to England for like 2 shows, and all of a sudden you're talking like you're British. Like, what is it? And people are like, oh, this is the Toronto accent thing. I'm like, I don't know
I
about
was like,
that.
that ain't Toronto.
Nah, he's over here rapping again like he's a British rapper. He went over there for one tour. They had to cancel because it wasn't selling that well. All of a sudden, he thinks he's British, doing grimy raps and everything. That new song sucks. I don't think it's
Which
being
song?
played
What's it
anywhere.
called?
Oh, I don't even remember. What's a dumbass song that I couldn't make it all the way through. The "What Did I Miss" song is like fine as like a catchy Drake song. It's like, yeah, this is catchy Drake. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You know, I haven't listened to it more than once. But this new song, what's this dumbass song called? It doesn't even show up on searches. It's so bad. Louis, you would know what it's called just because you're up on it. Man's Not Hot is a fucking classic. All right, we will not disrespect Man's Not Hot.
I don't
That
know what
song.
any of these things
You don't know
mean.
Man's Not Hot? They used that in a
I know.
commercial the other year. They use that.
I'm gonna listen to all
Oh,
this Drake stuff on air here.
what's it? Hold on. What's this new? It's something he's rapping about. Like, oh man, which one? I think that's what it's called. Look up Drake. I think. Hold on. Which one? Yeah. It's called Which One. This song sucks. He's got his accent going on here.
Well, look, I see other people did Man's Lot Hot, like Big
No,
Shaq.
Drake. Man's Not Hot's not Drake. Man's Not Hot, not
Okay.
Drake. That's what people are just referencing of like British rap that Drake just all of a sudden decided to develop.
So
an accent.
what's the new Drake song called?
Which One? It's called Which One.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which one?
I'm gonna listen to it. Everybody, let's throw on Drake's Which One. Let's listen to it as a community here. And
It's already got 5 million airs on
I'm
on
sure
YouTube.
I'm sure it does very well on YouTube and stuff. It's a terrible song. Like it just sucks. Are you listening?
The beat is hot, but why are you rapping like this?
It sucks.
You're not like the things that are no go.
Again, he's doing like some accent that's just. He went to
The beat
London.
owns. The beat is
He's
really
always
good.
got good beats though. Production's always good on Drake tracks. I can't listen anymore. I give up. I got 40 seconds in. That might have been longer than I got in last time. Nah, Jose, that one's not
Jose
good.
says song's not bad.
Nah.
He's just listening to the beat. Like Jose, there's things you have to listen to. You have to listen to the beat. You have to listen to the writing, the lyrics. It's all in one.
Nah,
Drake's verse is awful.
it's not good. It's not a good song. Again,
I
the
got,
what did
I
I
got the
miss?
chops. I got the
That was
chopstick for
fun.
you. Wonton is a good line from Central C. Yeah.
Uh, it's not. It's not good, man.
You
This new
stop listening.
album. Yeah, I gave up 40 seconds. I can't listen to it.
I made it. I made it halfway through already.
Oh, oh, I can't listen to it. He tried to do. He tried to do like this big rollout too, and that just like stopped.
Mhm.
Like he was doing this Iceman rollout, and then he just gave up on it. Where's this Iceman at, Drake? Why'd you stop doing the Iceman videos? We haven't done one in a while here. Just look at 3 weeks ago was Iceman episode 2. He was doing it like every other week. When's the next Iceman video, Drake? I need to know what next terrible song you're dropping. You gotta listen to Man's Not Hot. I can't believe it. You once you hear it, I feel like you'll be like, oh, okay, I know what this is. Man's Not Hot,
not hot.
is legit. That's a banger. Legit banger.
I see he has a music video.
Yeah, you can listen to the music video. That's fine.
This video's been out for 7 years. I'm
Yeah,
just
it's been
hearing
a while.
about it
It's been a
now.
while. You've heard this. You listening? You got it on?
I probably have. I just don't remember it. Maybe. Yeah, I just opened up. I see Big Shaq. Man's Not Hot.
Okay.
Let's give you a cityscape. This Marv Brown films, filmed and directed by.
We're just going beat by beat for the video.
Yep, he's sleeping in a hotel room and his phone's ringing. He's like, "Who's that?"
Oh yeah, I forgot that it does like a intro
Asni.
before it gets to the video.
Asni, yeah, big man.
That's fun.
Help your mom with the shopping. Nah, fam, not about that, fam. I'm in Miami, bruv. Check the statistics. Yeah. All right. Soon come. Yeah. All right, done now. Scooter, up.
Oh, listen to this. This banger right here, SP3. This is a banger.
Big Shot, the one and only. Man's Not Hot. I think I have heard this before, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's heard this.
Yes, I have.
Yes. Quick mass. This is a classic right here. When the ting went quack, 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 humans are ducking. Fire. Fire out here.
Look at him up in Toronto, too. Look at that. He got Gucci slippers on with socks. He took his girl to dinner in Times Square.
This is classic right here. Take off your jacket. It's a bit, man's not hot.
He said, "Babe said take off the jacket." I told him, "Man's not hot." All right, that's all I needed to hear.
That's a classic right there.
Take off the jacket. Men's not hot.
Real rap right there. Yeah, that Drake song sucks. Everybody listen to Man's Not Hot.
Drake is not. Someone told me because we had a whole debate on True Hill Heat on last week because me and JJ also did not want to talk about Monday Night Raw, so we got into a whole debate about top discographies in hip hop, and I had the hot take that Eminem is not in the top 10 discography
Of all time.
Ooh,
Who
I don't think anyone.
On this?
I think that Eminem is a top 10 rapper. I think that Marshall Mathers LP is a top 10 rap album of all time. But I don't know if anybody else in my top 10 greatest rappers have two albums as bad as Revival and Encore. So that's what eliminates him. I said my top 3 for sure. I don't know about every other place, but my top 3 discographies is, I don't know the order, but it's Kanye, Kendrick, Outkast.
We got to punish Kanye for this trash he's been releasing lately, though.
Vultures and Vultures 2 is almost as bad as Revival and Encore. I will say that. I will
We
say that.
gotta punish Kanye for
But he has
this.
good albums more than like Eminem has had passable albums. He's had solid albums. I don't think he's had anything approaching where anybody that's not being biased or not like an OD Eminem fan would say that he hasn't had a great album since at least Recovery. And some people are 50-50
Oh,
on Recovery.
I admit my bias. I'm not the person to
I,
debate this
I
with
have bias
because
as well, but I would not call Kamikaze, Music to Me, Murder By, or Death of Slim Shady great albums. I think Death of Slim Shady got a lot more criticism than it deserved. That's a good album. I think Kamikaze is a very good album, just not great. And Music to Me, Murder By is kind of like a 50-50 album for me. There was like some, maybe it's because I listened to side B as well. So I'm looking at it totality. Like, I like half of those songs.
okay. Again, I'm not the person to go on this with because I listen to more new Eminem than old Eminem at this point. Maybe because I've listened to just old Eminem my entire life to where I've heard all of these songs, but I listen to his new stuff and I'm just like, he's rapping his ass off on these tracks here. I
Yeah,
think what hurts
I
him,
enjoyed the hell out of Death of Slim Shady, but I can't say that was a great Eminem album.
I think it's a great album. That's just my opinion. I think it's a great album. I think what hurts him is he waters down some of the albums a little bit. I think Death of Slim Shady is a great album because I think the concept is very good and I think he sticks to the concept whether people want to believe that or not. I think he does a good job sticking to the concept and I think he executes the concept well. Now, he may go completely back on the concept and have a Slim Shady verse at some point in the future, but he does kind of leave it open ended. Of it was a dream, and like this is like Slim Shady is still alive with everything. I think Kamikaze is really good.
Yeah,
I think what hurts that is some of the love tracks when he's
yep.
just like going at people. Some of those tracks are so good. Like they're
I've
still.
even gone back and I listened to Marshall Mathers LP 2.
See,
I
I
would
think that's a
consider
great
that a
album.
great album. I think that's great. I think that's better than these three albums that we're talking about right in his last three albums. I think that's his last great album to me. But I'm talking about like in totality to a majority of people, they would make the argument that Recovery is his last great album. And I don't
I've
even think
gone
Recovery was as good as Marshall Mathers LP too.
I've gone back and listened to a lot of music to be murdered by. That album grew on me. I didn't like it when it first came out. I was like, not a fan of that.
I'm like the opposite. I liked it when it came out, and then it didn't grow on. Like
Oh,
Kamikaze grew on me even more. I liked Kamikaze when it came out, but then I liked it even more like re-listening to the tracks.
see, I liked Kamikaze from the start because my favorite version of M is when he's just attacking people and when he is rapping confidently and he's just going after everybody.
Louis, you better be joking. Stop it. Stop it in the chat. Stop it. This man MGK had to switch genres. What are you talking about, sir?
See, I love Bad and Evil. I think that's a great album with Royce. I can
I
go
think
back
that's a
and
good
listen
album.
to all those tracks.
I think the best Eminem co-written album is Devil's Night, though.
Yeah, I like D12 stuff. Some D12 stuff I can't fully go back and
Oh
listen to.
man, me and Jimmy, we had a whole we went back and forth with bizarre verses, bizarre
Oh,
verses.
Bizarre verses are hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I fuck with the Bizarre verses because That man's got one flow, one cadence, and he ain't switching it up no matter what
Nope.
the beat is.
That's why I love him. That's why I love it. I love it so much. It's so great. I hated that Venom song. I listened to that recently. That Venom song.
That
sucked.
Venom adrenaline.
That song sucks. Oh my god, that might be one of the worst Eminem songs ever. Like, and that was really bad, really bad stuff.
I don't love that song.
But I like Kanye. I feel like Kanye has a better discography because Vultures 1 versus 2, those are bad albums. But those are like his most recent albums. Like, I think that he's had a lot of underrated albums that basically get better over time. Like 808s and Heartbreak is revered as one of the most influential albums of all time. And when it first came out, everybody was like, "Oh, this isn't the Kanye that we want," basically.
I don't think Kanye's had a good album since Life of Pablo. And I don't think Yeezus was good either.
Life of Pablo was a great album.
Yeah.
I thought Yeezus was really good, in my opinion.
I didn't like Yeezus.
I liked Yeezus. I liked Donda 1. Donda 1 was a good album to me.
Okay.
I bet he's like his 3 or 4 classics, because I saw somebody say, "Oh, he had 3 classics, but the rest of his albums are not good." He's got more than 3 classics. He's got like maybe 4 or 5 classic albums. His first 3 albums is one of the greatest first 3 albums ever, right there with Eminem. I think they're 1, 2, and then Kendrick is 3 as far as their first 3 albums being classics. But he's got 808s and Heartbreak, which is one of the most influential albums, especially for the next decade after it came out and how much it influenced guys like Drake. Then he's also got My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is highly considered his greatest album ever. So, and I thought Life of Pablo is another great album, probably his most underrated album, because it comes in the second half of his career. I think everybody understands like Kanye was considered one of the best rappers in the whole game through My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but people kind of try to downplay the rest of his albums. But there's a lot of good stuff there. Kid See Ghost is one of the best co-written albums ever. Yeah. So like he's got more than just 3 classic albums.
I Watch the Throne is also a classic, but
I consider, I would consider that. Some people don't like it, but I love it.
I like Watch the Throne. I'm not gonna pretend like I've listened to a ton of the new Kanye stuff, because I listened to him one time and I'm like, all right, there's like a track or 2, but otherwise I have no time for this album. And then, you know, the person that he became makes me not really want to listen to a ton of his albums either. Like, I don't really feel like listening to this Nazi propaganda stuff, honestly. So I'll still listen to some old Kanye. It's still good, but even now, like, yeah, you're making it difficult on me, Kanye. Even the old. I try to
separate old Kanye from new Kanye. Yeah. but if you listen to his old stuff, you're like, oh, I'm not surprised that this is who he became. He kept being proven right with every bad thing that he was doing, or everything that was against the grain that he was doing. He was always proven right, to the point that I can understand he would become what he is today.
Yeah, not to this level though is kind of absurd. Like, yeah, I don't know. Can't do it with Kanye. Can't do it. Kendrick, I mean, Mr. Morale, your taste is going to vary just because of what you think that album is or should be. That's an album that if I'm listening to it all the way through, I'll get to it, and I like the concept of it all, and I can get through it all the way through, or get from start to finish. But like if one of the tracks just comes on like a shuffle, I'm like, I gotta skip that. Can't listen to that one, because it is such a
it's a heavy album.
Yeah, but it's a put together album of, you kind of got to listen to it in totality to get the whole picture of everything. Where I feel like his other albums, even though I know like Damn is revered as like, oh, you can listen to that start to finish or finish to start, and it's two different concepts with everything. Like but that just has more standout tracks of like, yeah, if it comes on a shuffle, I can listen to that on its own. Whereas I ain't throwing on Mr. Morale and, listening to therapy fighting when I just got done listening to whatever else I was listening to on
that
a
makes
shuffle.
sense. I would say between the reason why these are my top three with Kendrick, Kanye, and Outkast is there's real debates on what their best album is. That's how great their classic is. Like I think that Eminem has three real like legitimate classic albums that can be in the running for top 15, top 20 rap albums of all time with Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and Eminem Show. But there is no debate that freaking Marshall Mathers LP is his greatest album. There's no debate there. Really, there's people that will be big for Slim Shady LP. I've heard people that are big for Eminem Show, but there really is no debate. Like Marshall Mathers LP is a top 2 rap album of all time for me. Kanye West, there is a real debate there because there's people that love original Kanye and love the College Dropout. I just listened to that album. There's no skips on there. Late Registration, that's always been a no skips album for me, and it has more of like the pianos and the orchestra that really kind of took Kanye's form of hip hop to the next level, and it's a very influential album of itself. Some people love the stadium anthem, so they enjoy Graduation. Someone like the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, because that put everything together from the first 3 albums into one album with that one. So yeah, he has 4 albums you could put in that discussion. Kendrick has really, I think it's really mainly 2 or 3. I think Damn, because of the commercial success. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is like one of the most praised hip hop albums of all time. My personal favorite is Good Kid, Mad City. I think that's his best album. And then with Outkast, it's really Aquemini or Stankonia. That's the real debate when it comes to them.
That's fair arguments. All right, what is your top Kanye West album?
Maybe it's because it's recently biased because I just listened to it again, and it might change if I listen to Late Registration again. It goes back and forth with those two, but I'll take College Dropout.
See, mine's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I love that album too. Devil in a New Dress might be his best song like ever. Like that's how Runaway and Devil in a New Dress on that album is 2 of his greatest songs ever. Don't get me wrong. I love that album, but I think the story of College Dropout is better than the story of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's what it gives it the edge.
That's fair. And what's your you mentioned your favorite Kendrick album? Said Mad City, Good Kid, Mad City.
What's yours?
To Pimp a Butterfly. That's the one I've listened to the most, so that's why I'm gonna call it my favorite, because that's the one I figured whatever I listen to the most is probably my favorite, just subconsciously. I guess
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one I always seem to go back to.
Outkast is Stankonia.
Yeah,
Stankonia is my jam.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Rap album talk for everybody.
We always need about 20 to 30 minutes of us talking about not wrestling. So I think that was a good comment.
There's somebody in the chat yesterday, I think it was Pedro, and they're like, I didn't know Jeremy liked clips, and appreciate Louis. Louis like, yeah, Jeremy likes real rap and Taylor Swift. I was like, yeah, that's my genre.
The duality of Jeremy Lambert right there. I said it before. I think Like God Sold Him Out is the best Clips album.
Oh, you saw I went to the concert on Saturday. So I saw.
Oh, I didn't. That's
yeah. I went to see Clips on Saturday instead of watching AAA because who fucking cares about AAA?
Because why would you want to do that?
yeah. So yeah, I went to see Clips on Saturday, and that was a great show. Jose, I've not listened to the Chance album. I need to. I saw Phil say it was good. I used to love chant. I mean, acid rap is some classic stuff, but then he kind of fell off. But I heard the album is good. I've been mainly listening to the new Jid album and still like clips. That's been my main two rotations, along with just the classic stuff that I always listen to. But as far as new stuff goes, it's been clips and Jid. But I need to listen to the Chance album because I did like old Chance, and I heard that this is more of a return to form. So I'll get on that pretty soon.
Nice.
It's better than anything Chance since Acid Rap. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of good Chance since Acid Rap, so it's not a tough bar. Eclipse was in Columbus as well. They were in Cleveland. I went to the show in Cleveland. That's a little bit short of a drive for me compared to Columbus. So it was a Cleveland show. It was really good, really good. Yeah, Coloring Book was probably. I don't remember the order of albums because again, my memory with everything is not good, but yeah, Coloring Book and Acid Rap were good. Rich saying You Ugly off the Kid album, Go So Hard. What's your favorite off the Jid album? I mean, Community is really good. I do like. I mean, Clips is on that. I really like For Keeps on the Jid album. I think the album. You mentioned You Ugly. Like, that's a strong opener. Like, the opener and the closer on the Jid album are very strong to me. Not that the middle is, like, bad. There's a lot of good stuff on there. But I really just like the opener and the closer. Those are probably my two favorite tracks, along with Community on the Jid album. So, but overall, it's a strong album. The fact that it got Pastor Troy as well, like, that absolutely rules. Maybe Pastor Troy's been putting out music lately. I don't know. I haven't kept up with him, but when I saw Pastor Troy on there, I was like, hell yeah. And he makes the vice versa reference earlier in the album as well. So yeah, getting Pastor Troy on there. That's a good song too. K-Word, that's a really good song as well. So the whole album's good. If you've not listened to the Jid album, I recommend it.
That's on my to-do list. I got to listen to that. Check that out.
I'll listen to the Chance album at some point this week and give everybody thoughts on it.
I've been going back and listening to classic albums, trying to figure out how many 10 out of 10 hip hop albums I have.
Okay. All right. Any ones that might surprise us?
I don't know how well it's aged for most people, but Get Rich or Die Trying still a 10 out of 10 album.
Oh yeah. That's
no skips. Yeah. No skips.
Yeah, that sounds
there's people that try to get all prissy about it. They're like, doesn't age well and stuff like that.
Those people suck.
They made me nervous to re-listen to Kim on Marshall Mathers LP. I mean, I am a little bit uncomfortable, but that's the point. That's the point. He's so imaginative. Like that is why that's probably if we ever did like a top 10 rap albums of all time, like Marshall Mathers LP, that's a candidate to be at the top of the list for me.
Yeah, I'm biased towards Eminem, so I'm gonna say all of his albums are great and all of his songs are great.
Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy, I re-listened to it and I was just like, how dare this have won a Grammy? This is ridiculous.
The Grammys don't matter. Who cares about the Grammys?
Well, but when you look at the list, outside of like her and Macklemore, like the people that usually win Album of the Year, it's usually either their best work or one of the best albums of the year. Like those are the two instances in particular where I was just like, yeah, this wasn't even close.
I can't think of Macklemore without the Eminem line on the Chloroseptic remix, where it's like back and forth. Why can't you be more like Macklemore? Rap mature. I never looked at Macklemore the same after that. That's the only line I can think of. Macklemore had some bangers though. I'm not gonna lie.
He did. He was a hit maker. I will give him that.
He had some bangers, man. That Glorious song. That song comes on. I'm like, throw that shit on. I like how he praises himself. He's like, that boy got bars. Woo! I'm with you, Macklemore. You have bars.
He got bars. He got some bars, yeah. Hit maker, Macklemore.
Macklemore had some bangers. I gotta give him. I gotta give him that. I don't know if he would deserve to win a Grammy, but he has some songs that you throw on in the car and you're like, yeah, let's turn this up right here.
Oh, so the one from this current generation that I gave a high score to, I gave a 9 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10, but a 9 out of 10. Travis Scott, what is it? Astroworld.
Oh, I haven't listened to that in a while.
I give that a 9 out of 10. That was actually a good album.
I know Travis Scott used to make good music. His new stuff sucks. I mean, new stuff.
9 out of 10 is very big in my book. There's a lot of rappers that are probably on people's top 10 lists that don't even have a 9 out of 10 album. The highest I'll go is like 8.5 out of 10. Yes, I'm talking about Drake. Take Care is 8.5 out of 10.
See, I couldn't have told you Macklemore won an album of the year or anything. I have no idea who won these awards. Like, sure, yeah, whatever. I don't care. If I like it, that's all I care about. But I don't know who won these awards. I know there was like that controversy of like Macklemore did win and like Kendrick should have won type of thing, but I don't pay attention.
I think that was the year for Good Kid, Mad City. I think, yeah, okay. Or was it? Maybe.
Right. I'll take your word for it again. I wasn't. I don't pay attention to that award stuff. Maybe I'll go back and re-listen to Astroworld with Travis Scott. Probably not.
I listened to for Kendrick Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Untitled. And Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly. 10 out of 10s.
Okay. Yeah, Untitled's just a bunch of Lucy's and everything, but that's still a good album. I listened to that album so much because I was in the mountains with some friends, and you can like listen to music through your phone and everything, and they let me control the music when we were driving. But mountains, you don't get good receptions, right? So that was the only album, because we'd played it all the way through. That was the only album that would load on my phone. Because I listen to my phone, or I listen to music on my phone. I don't have like a lot of stuff downloaded on my phone. It's all in the cloud. It's a very nice setup. But because we'd played it through, like it had already loaded those songs, so it would just repeat that entire album the whole way through. So anywhere we would drive, because the reception was so awful, those were the only songs that would load. So we probably listened to that album like 20 times that weekend because it was the only thing that would load on our phone. So. And then I stopped listening to it for a while. It's like, I can't take any more of this album. I gotta listen to something else. But it was really good. It was good enough to where like, let's just keep listening to this instead of listening to no music at all. It was just once I got back to Civilization and got other songs I could listen to, it was like, okay, I gotta listen to some other stuff here.
It's been so long since I've been able to listen to albums like that. It wasn't until GNX last year and then Let God Sort 'Em Out this year where I've been like listen to an album over and over again.
John Wall has retired from the NBA. I guess that's breaking news. I mean, I don't think John Wall's played in like 3 years, but
does he make the Hall of Fame?
No. That's an easy no. Like, what's the argument for him to make the Hall of Fame?
He had a high peak, I thought, but not that high.
I agree he had a high peak, but I mean, you got like 3-4 good years out of John Wall. He has no awards. He has no individual awards, no team awards. What's he got? A couple of All-Star appearances?
All-Stars.
More than a couple. Yeah. He's got a number of All-Star appearances. I'm sure he made All-NBA. Let's look. He made All-NBA in 2016, 2017. He made All-Defensive 2014, 15. 5-time All-Star. He's got no shot at the Hall of Fame. Like, peak John Wall was a very good player. Peak John Wall was still a guy who averaged 22 points per game. Like, that's not a lot. Like 22 points, 10 assists. All right. Good defensive player. I think like John Wall at his peak, very fun to use in 2K, but not a guy who, no shot at the Hall of Fame. I don't think there's an argument.
I just asked, but I didn't expect you to shut it down that fast. That was great.
I mean, there's no argument for him.
No.
I can't even pretend to make an argument for John Wall. Like, I just named his accolades. If we're going to let 5-time All-Stars in the Hall of Fame, we're going to get a lot of Hall of Famers.
That is true.
Like, that
is true.
Yeah, there's no argument for John Wall. If somebody has an argument, be my guest, but they're just, I don't see people reference Hall of Fame index, what they have them listed as, which isn't, super, the most accurate tracker in the world, but it is pretty good. As far as what can I just get? Why we got to make this? Oh, that's Baseball Hall of Fame. It would help if I go to the right sport, honestly. I don't think he's getting into the baseball. I don't think he's getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame either.
No shot at that.
Yeah. No way he gets into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Okay. All right. He's not even on their list. Oh, yeah, he is. Okay. 32% chance to get in. Yeah, he's... Okay. I'm looking at the people above
doesn't sound that likely.
I'm looking at, Sean Kemp is above him. And Sean Kemp's not making the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Sean Kemp not in the Hall of Fame? He's another one that had a high peak, but it didn't last long.
Yeah, high peak, but, he didn't do... Again, no individual. I mean, Chris Mullins above him. Chris Mullins in the Hall of Fame. Chris Mullins, 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA. Sean Kemp, 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. Reggie Miller is below John Wall on this thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How many All-NBAs does Reggie Miller have?
I mean, Reggie Miller's in the Hall of Fame, too.
Okay.
5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA for Reggie Miller. So clearly this thing isn't the greatest tracker in the world. Rudy Gobert is below John Wall. Rudy Gobert is getting in the Hall of Fame.
5-time Defensive Player of the Year? Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to break it to everybody who doesn't like Rudy Gobert. He's getting in the Hall of Fame. Nah, I don't see a world where you put John Wall in the Hall of Fame, honestly. Just don't see it.
Doesn't seem so.
Yeah, we'll see. He's, again, 32% on the Basketball Reference. But somebody, it's not the most fully accurate. Russell Westbrook's at 99%. Russell Westbrook's getting in the Hall of Fame. Giannis, Jokic at 99%. They're getting in the Hall of Fame. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. Louis saying that Reggie's the most overrated player ever. I don't disagree about that.
I disagree. I do disagree.
All right, who's the most overrated player ever? Well, real quickly, Will saying it's for college, too. On that basis, okay. It is the Basketball Hall of Fame. So maybe his college stuff helps him get in. Because I think that's the only argument you can make, is you got to add his college statistics. Because just on NBA statistics, he ain't there. But even college is SEC Player of the Year, All-American. He didn't win a title in college or anything. He didn't win a national championship or anything. So, he only had 1 year in college. He was great that year, but
that's what made him a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. I don't know if he probably, with the help of his college resume, he might get in, but that's it. It's just the college resume on top of that. All right, who's the most overrated player to you?
You want a hot take?
I mean, if it's most overrated, I assume it's kind of a hot take.
Most overrated? Paul George,
Okay, that's not super hot. I kind of agree.
Blake Griffin.
I feel like he's properly rated.
I think he's overrated. Derrick Rose. I
Uh,
actually would put Derrick Rose ahead of Blake Griffin. I think Derrick Rose is more overrated because of the what if factor of it all. That
yeah,
people talk more about the hypothetical of if he was healthy more than what actually happened.
I don't know if he's overrated though, because like people talk about high peaks. I mean, at least Derrick Rose got an MVP.
Yeah,
at
he had one of the highest peaks ever. But
Okay. All right,
I think he's overrated.
those are three. Anybody else? Because I have one for you. I stand 10 toes down on this one too.
Go ahead.
Damian Lillard. I think he's one.
I think
he's the most
I
overrated
won't
player
argue with you.
of all time.
I will not argue with you.
People talk about Damian Lillard like he belongs in the category of Steph Curry, and he ain't. He's not even in the category of Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard is a very good player who very good shooter, but accomplished nothing as far as individual awards, as far as team awards. He made the conference finals one time. That's it. They got swept as well. Damian Lillard to me is the most overrated player. Him being like a top 75 player of all time and all this stuff. I'm like, what? Why? Why is he considered a top 75 player?
Just some big shots. Some big shots.
He had some big shots in early rounds. That's it. Yeah. Okay. He's remembered for the OKC shots. I know. I get it. You were a 3 seed. You beat a 6 seed in the first round. Congratulations. Like, it was a good shot. It was a huge shot. I understand it. You were a 3 seed facing a 6 seed.
It's not cool that serious, bro.
Yeah. Cool shots. Like, this has nothing to do with like, oh, he ended OKC. Like, we got a championship. I hold no ill will.
You're fine about that
Damian
now.
Lillard. Yeah. Even at the time, I was like, you know what? That's a cold shot. That's a very cold shot. I gotta respect it. We got a championship. It ended that version of the Thunder. I think that version of the Thunder needed to end. I think that sped it up a little bit because if they won that series, they probably would have been more likely to run it back in some capacity. But Lillard shot 100%, sped things up. And then Paul George turned out to be a bitch and wanted to go to LA anyway. I got no ill will towards Damian Lillard hitting that shot because it brought us what we have now. I'm saying that shot in the history of the NBA is overrated because it is a first round shot to beat a 6 seed. Great moment. Fantastic moment. It was a first round shot to beat a 6 seed. Let's not act like it's one of the biggest shots of all time.
Like, relax.
This ain't Jordan with the push off. This ain't Kyrie. You know, this ain't a finals.
It's the equivalent of Jordan of the shot on Cleveland because that was also in the first round.
Yeah.
So it's
Jordan.
It's the greatest. It's the second greatest first round playoff shot of all time.
Jordan's gets elevated because he went on to do this in later rounds and got 6 titles to his name. Lillard, this is it. This is what you point to. Look, the shot against Houston too.
This is what they say basically. That's like how you first become a star is making a big shot in the playoffs. It doesn't matter which round. So I think that it would still be talked about in Jordan's case, even if he didn't go on to win 6 championships, because they would be like, man, why wasn't he ever as good as that shot? They would still talk about it though.
Yeah. Like Lillard is a very good player who was one of the top point guards at a peak where there was a lot of really good point guards. But he didn't accomplish anything. The best team he had got their ass beat by Drew Holiday and the New Orleans Pelicans. That was the best team. That was the best team. And they got locked up by Drew, Anthony Davis, and the Pelicans. So, you know what I was saying? Can I add James Harden to the overrated list? I mean, you can.
James
But
Harden is definitely on the overrated list. I think that Pete James Harden is one of the most exciting players I've ever seen.
exciting.
But
Not about exciting.
it was exciting to watch a guy put up that many points. I'll be honest, and pass the ball as good as he could. Yeah, that offense in Houston was a lot of fun. So I would put him up there. But yeah, he is overrated. The wildest or the hottest take I got on this overrated list, Carmelo Anthony.
All right.
The way, because I is, and maybe this is considering that I grew up in New York or live in New York. New York Knicks fans talk about Carmelo Anthony like he's one of the greatest players of all time. Carmelo Anthony was a great scorer, but I wouldn't say he was a great overall player.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I've softened on Melo over the years, like going back and rewatching a lot of his stuff. I'm like, man, he just makes it look so easy and he's so smooth to where I understand what you're saying. Because look, Melo doesn't have that many accomplishments either. I would still take him over Lillard overall. That's just me. I would take him over Lillard. Look, Harden's got MVP trophies. He made the finals. I realized that was with a Thunder team where he was the third guy. He made the conference finals multiple times. If they get some breaks, they maybe beat the Warriors team, but they didn't get those breaks. Harden, I understand the sentiment that he's overrated because he didn't win a title and he never made the finals as the guy. So I get that. But we're also not going to downplay just how good of a scorer he was and how good of a passer he was and the fact that he had an MVP and like a well-earned MVP and could have had multiple MVPs if you wanted to debate such things. So I understand the sentiment with Harden. It just depends on where you rate Harden because I think most people recognize all of those flaws and rate him properly off of that. I don't think people are like James Harden's the top 10 player of all time. Where, look, if you say Harden's top 10, then yeah, sure, he's overrated. I think most people recognize Harden and all of his flaws and judge him accordingly off of that. This is where I think Damian Lillard is overrated because I don't think he's judged accordingly. I don't think he's a top 75 player. I don't think he's better in the history books. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander retired today, he's a better player than Damian Lillard. He's higher in the history books than Damian Lillard. Shai had one of the greatest one-season runs in NBA history. He surpassed a lot of people off of one season. And then you factor in what he did the year before on top of that. And you hopefully factor in what he's going to keep doing. And Damian Lillard, top 75 player of all time.
It's like, I don't know about that one.
I don't like
Did we even finish talking about Monday Night Raw?
Who gives a fuck about Raw?
That's also true. We talked a lot about G1 today. Talked some hip hop albums. That was good.
Who cares about Raw? Joel and I will be back tomorrow. Everybody, we'll have more to talk about, I'm sure. SP3, let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. You can see me over on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Rated Raw Review. I'll be there with Romeo. Excuse me, with Romeo this week because no Top Guy JJ. Top Guy JJ had enough of talking about Monday Night Raw, so he gets the week off. So it'll be me and Romeo today, and you'll get everything that we missed on Monday Night Raw on the Rated Raw Review today, and knowing Joel on tomorrow's In the Weeds because he loves to talk about stuff we already talked about.
We'll be back tomorrow with a new episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Talk to y'all tomorrow.